Okay, all right. I think we might actually be live. Here's hoping. YouTube's very new to us, so we're not 100% sure what I'm going to see here. Okay, all right. I don't know how the chat or anything works, so hi guys, welcome to Aussie Maille's new live session on YouTube. I don't know how this is going to work tonight, but hopefully everything will go fine. Okay, it looks like I can see chat coming up when people type in a comment, so that's great. And hopefully we'll be able to get some people on. Kim, hi, how are you? Annette, fantastic. All right, good. Some people found us. That's excellent. I was beginning to think I was going to be talking to myself there for a little while. How are we, ladies? All right, looks like we've only got the two on. Shirley's here. Excellent. Hi, Shirley. Oh, I'm glad to hear if something's easier. Okay, I'm only showing two coming up. Okay. But Shirley's here, so apparently my stats aren't up to date. All right, bear with us a little bit tonight, guys, because I'm a little unsure about what's going to happen with this. Jenny, hi, it's lovely to see you. All right, so hopefully we can get this to work. We don't know what's happening with Facebook, why it isn't working. We've tried numerous things, and it should all be working. Hey, Linda. It should all be working, but it's not. So hopefully if everything works all right with YouTube, we may very well stay here. But we will give it a go tonight and see how it goes. You guys let us know what you think of it being here. All right. Hey, Kate, how are you, love? All right, people are slowly starting to trickle in by the looks of things. Debbie, good to see you. I'm glad you found us. Was last week a drama? We weren't able to get Facebook Live to work at all last week, Shirley, so we had to cancel that session altogether. So I haven't actually been able to demonstrate last week's weave. I hope to get some time, especially after the sale is finished, to either get another live demonstration or just simply do a how-to video and get it up for the Born Again weave. As I said, I really don't know what went wrong or has gone wrong with Facebook. It should still be working. It's not, but this seems to be. All right, so we've got a few people on, so we might make a start, see how we go. Well, the internet's working fine, Shirley. It wasn't the internet, it was something to do with Facebook Live, so we don't know what that issue is. It's not we don't know, basically. We don't know what's causing it. It's not making sense at all. All right, so this week's weave is an extremely simple weave. It's a Byzantine variant. As you all know, I love my Byzantine weaves, so I try to throw them in as often as I can. And most people know how to do Byzantine anyway, so these weaves tend to be a bit of a break, a little bit easier for everybody. Hey Julie, good to see you here. All right, fantastic. Well, what we'll do now is we'll slip over to the next other camera and we'll start the session. Hopefully this will all work out fine tonight. Okay. All right, so I've got a few sample pieces made up for you guys. This is the 14 and 16 gauge version. So 16 gauge 4.5 BA rings, making up the Byzantine section, and 14 gauge 5/16 or 7.94 millimeter on the AA rings. Okay, and this one here is BA is 18 gauge 3.5. So basically any size that works with Byzantine is the size you would use down the middle. And the outer rings are 16 gauge 1/4 inch or 6.35 mils. And this one, which is my absolute favourite, is the 20 gauge and 18 gauge version. So the BA rings are 20 gauge 2.75 and the AA rings are 18 gauge 3/16 or 4.76 mil ID. So those are the 3 different sizes. Now I'm having a little trouble getting this camera positioned the way I want it to do, but hopefully you guys can all see that. Okay, so we'll be doing the 16 and 14 gauge version tonight. As I said, this is super simple. I'm expecting this one to not be difficult for anybody. So sort of an apology for the born again last week. And, well, you know, you can all go back and chat to each other. That's fine. I'm happy to just sit back and watch you guys. If you don't need me to do the weaves for you, that's fine, Linda. Not a problem. All right, so basically what we need to start is a chain of 5 pairs of rings. So make that up any way you like, just so we end up with a chain of 5 pairs of rings. So I just had 4 closed rings, which I've put on an open ring. I'm going to double that ring up. That gives me 3 pairs. And then I'm just going to add some more. As I said, whichever way you get there, just make up 5 pairs of rings in a chain. Okay. Alright, so there we are with 5 pairs of rings in the chain. And then we just fold back the endmost pair like we do with any Byzantine. This camera angle is really not working for me tonight. Okay, fold back those end pair, separate the 2 that are exposed so we can see the rings we just folded back. Taking one of your AA rings, slip it through those 2 rings, close. Now you don't have to be particular with these closures with the AA rings because we're going back and opening most of them up anyway. So except for maybe that first ring there, the others you will be opening up and closing properly later. Alright, so we want to do the same to the other end. You want to fold the 2 endmost rings back, give them a little pinch, separate out those 2 rings on the end, and we're going to go in and scoop up those 2 rings that we just folded back. And we'll give that a close. So it just needs to be closed enough so that it doesn't fall apart. And that is basically it. So you just need to make up several of those units. So that'll depend on how long you need your bracelet to be, what rings you're using, etc., etc. So I'll just whip a couple of those up now. Or you guys chat amongst yourselves or make your own pieces. Hopefully everybody's been able to find us fairly easily. Chris, I don't know if you can see if anybody's struggling on Facebook looking for us.
Facebook, it looks okay.
Fantastic. All right. At least we might actually get the demonstration done tonight, which will be fabulous. Alright, sorry about this camera angle, guys. It's really not good for me tonight. I struggled with it today to get it to do what I want to do. And it's not behaving. Maybe the gods are telling me to stop. No, you you sure, Wes? I'm pretty sure they must be. It's been a horrible week actually trying to get it sorted. It's been frustrating. It's been time consuming. All right, so as I said, just make up your chains, make up Byzantine sections basically for those that don't know how to make Byzantine up. Fold back your endmost pair, expose those rings that we've just folded back, and we bring our AA ring in and scoop both of those rings up. And that locks it all into place. Just close your ring up enough to make sure it doesn't slip out. You don't need to be fiddly about it. We will be reopening it later. Okay, so fold those rings back on the other end, separate the two, come in and scoop up the folded up rings, close her up. All right, so I'll just leave it at that for the moment. Before we go on any further, I'll get you guys to do our little giveaway. So this week's giveaway, it's going to be a quick session tonight, guys, by the looks of things. So I'll do the giveaway now. So the giveaway this week, we're going to do 5 bags of anodized aluminium. So it'll be whatever we put our hand in the pot and pick out. It'll be 5 bags of different sizes, different colours, whatever's left over after the sale is done. So that's our prize tonight. If you want to go in the prize draw and get a chance of winning those bags, pop in the comments for me. We've probably had this one before, but whether you like crunchy peanut butter or smooth peanut butter. I will accept only crunchy or smooth as the answers, guys. I don't want to hear about any other brand or anything. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter. So pop your answer in and we'll pop you in a draw tomorrow morning. So when I get up and have my coffee, I will do the draw and let you guys know who wins. Oh, sorry, Christina. Looks like you miss out this time. Smooth. Cashew butter is that like an alternative, Christina? Does it taste? I mean, I love cashews. Can't imagine smearing it on bread though. Is that something you do? Super tasty? Well, cashews are super tasty, so I'm assuming it would be all right. Okay, all right, I'll have to give it a go then. Sounds cool. Macadamias are just decadent. Actually, I had a nut mix not long ago that was just macadamias and cashews. Crunchy with honey. The last time I tried to eat peanut butter and honey, I ended up looking like Pooh Bear by the end of it. I had honey everywhere. I don't quite know what went wrong, but it was all over my clothes and my blanket that I was under, and I definitely felt like Pooh Bear. Okay. Hey Roslyn, how are you? We're just getting people to type in their answer for tonight's giveaway, which is 5 bags of AA rings. Colours and sizes to be decided. If you want to join in on that, I need to know whether you like crunchy or smooth peanut butter. If you type crunchy or smooth in the comments for me, and we'll put you in the draw and we'll draw you out tomorrow like we normally, well, I'm not guarantee I'm going to draw you out tomorrow, but we will do the draw tomorrow and hopefully you guys will win. Alright, so we're nearly ready. I've nearly got all my bits done. Well, that's just tricky, putting a bare face in. Now you're just showing off, Elizabeth. Alright, fantastic. Alright, so we've got all our Byzantine units made up. As I said, that will depend on the bracelet. As you can see, 20 gauge has a whole heap. 14 gauge, not as many. So it all depends how many you need, your bracelet size. You can just make them up as you go along. You don't have to have them all done in advance. Nice and easy. Alright, so take your first one that you've made up. So I'm going to use that as my first one because I've got that ring there nicely closed. We need another unit that you're going to just open up the big ring enough to weave. And we're going to connect that to the wings on the Byzantine unit. So these are the rings that we initially folded back. Just going to go in, and I am sorry about this camera, guys. I will work on this through the week. And slip up the ring through those two side rings through the wings. Put the rings through the wings. There you go. You can see I haven't been drinking. Close it up. Now you want that closure to be nice and snug because we're not going to open that up again. Then we flip our work around and we want to do the same on this side. We're going to open this ring up here of our first bit, our first piece that we picked up. And we're going to do the same to the second piece. We're going to put it through the two wings on that side of the weave. The wings are the rings that we folded back. Okay, and we close that up. And that is basically it. We just keep adding units all the way down until you get to the length you need. So open up the next one slightly. Make sure you're running in the same direction, otherwise you're going to get a slightly different layout. I mean, it'd be interesting. I don't know how well it would work. It's certainly worth trying. But put this through the two wings there. Close it up. Well, I'm saying I'm obviously not drunk because I'd be tripping all over my tongue if I was trying to say wings and rings. Drunk. Okay. And then we find the opening of the other one. As you can see, why I said don't bother about closing it up too much. You really don't need to when you make those Byzantine units. Pop it through the wings and close it up. You just keep turning your work around, adding new units until you've added them all. So through the wings again. Super, super simple. Wings beneath my rings. Oh, thank you, Julie. So not only is it our belated happy birthday, but it's actually Chris's and my wedding anniversary today. So big celebration week for us. Not that we celebrated much. Too busy panicking to celebrate. So we've put up with each other for, what is it, 28 years now? 28 years we've put up with each other. All right, so that's it, guys. You just keep continuing to do that, creating your Byzantine units and connecting them to each other until you get the length of your bracelet. All right, and just to finish it off, all I did was add just an additional ring to the first and the last pair of wings. And then for this kit I chose, this is the 16 gauge kit, which is what went out to our subscribers, and I just chose to put a slide block on this. Works slightly better than the lobster class, but ultimately at the end of the day it's all up to you guys. Okay, so that's it. I think everybody here should be able to handle that weave very well. I don't think I'll need to explain anything, but let me know if there was something there that you didn't get. Thank you very much for your best wishes, regards, happies. What do you call these?
Well wishes.
Well wishes? There we go. Maybe I need to drink. I have no words today. Alright guys, so that's the weave for tonight. As I said, look, as far as I can see, we'll probably remain streaming with YouTube at this stage, unless whatever the funky reason is that Facebook isn't working for us, unfunks itself. I'd say this is where we're probably going to stay. We'll have to spend a bit of time getting used to YouTube ourselves and seeing what sexy things we can do with it. I'm sorry if tonight's been a bit of a disaster. We didn't get a chance to do very much testing or anything like that. We're not doing a happy hour this week, Dawn, because we've got our birthday sale running. So we figured, you know, 20% off everything on the website was, you know, a happy hour. But yeah, there's 20% off.
72 hours.
Happy, yeah, 72 hours. Happy 72 hours. So it's 20% off everything that's on the website except for package deals, anything in the package deals, and anything in the clearance section. They aren't on sale. And also just to let you guys know, we've got something coming up in the next week or two concerning our hyperlinks kits. We've gotten together with Michelle and we're going to offer just about, not everyone, but just about every kit that Hyperlinks has produced to date in a pre-order. And we'll be setting that up in a week or so, and you guys will be able to purchase some of the Hyperlinks kits that we don't stock and probably aren't going to stock. We can't simply stock everything that they do, but we've decided we're going to offer you guys the chance to get whatever it is that you would like from there. Kelly, I am impressed with your loyalty to Maille. I'm glad you came here and saw us, hun. I haven't been to any of my anniversaries either, and I wish mine was only 10 years and not 30. But there you go. All right, so coming up in the near future is our pre-order with Hyperlinks. So you guys, if we'll be opening that up on the website in a week or so once we get all the products listed and all the rest. So that'll be coming up. So you'll have a chance to buy whatever it is that you want from Hyperlinks. We will also be opening up our subscriptions again tomorrow. For November. So those that were interested in subscribing and missed out this month, the subscriptions open tomorrow and will be open for 2 weeks before we close them down. Okay, and
Christina's got a question re pliers.
Thinking about picking up some pliers on the sale, what would you recommend, Deb, for the Viperoberis kit? I'm having trouble closing the rings. So the Viperoberis kit is in 20 gauge, if you're talking about the one that we sell. The Zurons should be fine for that. I don't believe we've actually got any Lindstroms on site at the moment, but the Zurons are fine for 16 gauge. If you were working in 14 gauge, then I would definitely recommend the Lindströms. They're much better with 14 gauge than the Zurons, although the Zurons can handle it. These, because they've got a wider tip, they're a better option if you work in 14 gauge. But 16 gauge, these ones are perfectly fine. And these will do you all the way down to 22 gauge without an issue. The Lindströms, I've used them for 20 gauge, but I wouldn't use them for 22 gauge. They're just starting to get a little bit too, large for something that small. Yeah, so look, I don't have a problem with the Lindströms because you just use part of the top when you're doing the thinner gauges. But if it's something you're not used to, then yes, they can be quite difficult to use. But yeah, look, I don't have, as I said, I can use them in 20 gauge, not a problem. But if it's a really tight, really tricky 20 gauge, then I will use the Zurons instead. But if I'm doing in 14 gauge, I'll always pick up the Lindströms. They're just better. For the 14 gauge, you get a nicer closure. The rings don't tend to be marred. So you've got the Zurons, have you, Christina? Sorry, I can't remember whether you've got them or not. But yes, I would recommend definitely the Zurons for people that are looking for a general set of pliers that will work from thin up to the thicker gauges. They're definitely the way to go. All right. Well, if you're thinking of buying pliers, I would recommend them. I've used one of each. That's just my preference. I've got a short nosed and a chisel nose. I'm not a fan of the bent nosed myself personally. Upon saying that though, they are good for some of the hyperlinks kits, and those bent nose rings, pliers, sorry, were actually designed by Michelle from Hyperlinks. So some of those tighter weaves, because she uses very tight connections, the bent noses are good for those. But for everything else, I don't use those bent nose pliers for anything else pretty much, except when I'm doing the Hyperlinks kits. All right, so I think that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for persevering with us, and I'm really sorry about last week, and we will try to get at least some sort of demonstration up on Born Again. I know that some of you are having troubles with it, and I did play with the idea of doing it this week instead of the Byzantine, but I didn't want to throw the whole thing going out of whack too much. But I will get some sort of video up for you, so thank you for that. And I think that's it, if no one else has got any other questions. So our sale runs until midnight Sunday, and then it closes down. And then in a week or two, we'll have that pre-order for the hyperlinks happening, and I'll give you some more information on how that's actually going to run when we get a little bit closer to it. Okay. By all means, Jenny, go back. We'd love you to go back. Buy as much as you like. Means I get to buy restock, which is always good fun. All right, so thank you very much, guys, and we will catch up with you next week. Unless we say otherwise, it'll be here on YouTube. So thank you again, and we will see you next week. Bye.